Okay, guys, I just want to open this up by saying, get this out of the way to start. Steve, your team's a dumpster fire. Now, moving into the matchups, week 3 matchup previews, your commish dish here on Wednesday. We're going to start off with Cheesehead Champ versus Bend the Knee, which is, of course, your undefeated commissioner against Tony Jr., who is also undefeated. But for some reason, despite spending 2 decently high draft picks on quarterbacks, he is rolling with Trevor Siemian in what is potentially the worst case of point chasing I've ever seen. Siemian's not going to have a good game at Buffalo. He's just not. So you look at his home road splits, and he's absolutely horrendous on the road. Maybe that has something to do with the great atmosphere they have in Denver. I don't know. But regardless, Siemian's stupid play, and it's unbelievable to me that we're here now 3 weeks into the season and Phillip Rivers has not seen your starting lineup yet. Shady and Dalvin have really tough matchups. Dalvin at home against the Bucs, who have a pretty good run defense, pretty good defense in general. That Tampa Bay team is something to get excited about. Denver just held Ezekiel Elliott to 8 yards, I think, on 9 carries. Shady is no Zeke. So I think Denver's just going to key in on him and just lock him down. I don't think Shady does anything. Honestly, you'll be lucky if your running backs combine to get you 12 points. Mike Gillislee is going up against a really good Texans D. Not likely to be a game script that is going to feature a whole lot of Mike Gillislee in this one. Bell and Ajayi, of course, are going to go off. That's all I really need to say about my team. I have, Le'Veon Bell against the Bears, Jay Ajayi against the Jets. That's just going to be a bloodbath. Jay Ajayi might rush for 500 yards in that one. It's just going to be silly. New England D is awful. They're not playable. I say this every week because one of you idiots always picks up the Patriots defense and thinking you're going to get something out of them. I think they have 1 and 2 fantasy points through 2 weeks here. They're not a playable defense. Stop. It doesn't matter who they're playing against. Their defense sucks. They're going to give up points. Of course, I'm going to win this matchup, picking myself as the winner. Tony's going to fall to 2-1 and then go into a death spiral that's going to lead him towards the bottom of the league. So there you go. I pick up the easy W against Tony and what's basically a walkthrough for my team. Hashtag first round bust versus what if. Tough matchup for Reese all the way around. Jameis and Deshaun at Minnesota, although this could be a Minnesota game or it could be a Deshaun game with Xavier Rhodes being on Mike Evans. Crabtree at Washington, and he might very well draw Josh Norman in shadow coverage just because of how well Crabtree's been doing. Leonard Fournette against the Ravens, Alshon Jeffrey versus Janoris Jenkins. Now, notice I'm saying Janoris Jenkins because he's good, but the Giants suck. So Janoris Jenkins, the only guy you really got to avoid on that Giants defense. The rest of them are horrendous. Eli Appel on the other side can't cover anything. Joe finally starting Buck Allen. Congratulations, Joe. Good call. So Buck Allen, solid fantasy option. You're definitely point chasing with Ebron, though, but, can't blame you. The tight end situation is horrendous in this league right now. Gurley and Montgomery are going to outscore McCaffrey and Fournette. That's just what it is. Sorry, Reese. So I got to pick Joe What If as the winner. Upset of the week, knocking off the 2-0 Reese, who's going to fall to 2-1. He's not going to go in a death spiral like Tony Jr. is, but he is going to lose this one. So Pack Attack versus the aptly named Go Cubs Go. Thank you so much for your support, Jason. The Cubs took home the W last night, in part because of loyal fans like you. So Pack Attack has the Crow against the Colts, who have been a respectable run defense thus far, but that's, I think, had more to do with the fact that it's so easy to throw against them. I think the Crow flies high in this one. He's been complaining he's not getting enough carries. Get right matchup against the Colts. The Crow does well. Of course, my dad's entire team is dominated by Packers, and Aaron Rodgers should have a great game at home against the Bengals. That's going to lead to Cobb and Bennett doing well. So I think Aaron Rodgers does well. Tyreek Hill, tough matchup at the Chargers, though, but you just don't. I mean, how are you going to sit Tyreek Hill? Michael Thomas has breakout potential. On the flip side of this, you have Smoking Jay Cutler looking to do some big things at the Jets. I think that's going to be an absolute blowout. Should be plenty of offense to go around for everybody in that Dolphins team. I think that the Cleveland D is a sneaky defense. I gotta say, this matchup was the toughest one I've had to choose all year. This is a really, really even matchup between these two teams. I'm gonna pick Pack Attack for the win. I'm not very confident in that. I could easily see this going to Jason, but I'm gonna take Tony Sr. for the W this week in what is likely to be a very close matchup. Damaged Goods versus Big Brown and It Hurts. We got your Jared versus John. So Jared, we all know the story. Usually he just has Brady and Gronk, and that's it. But this week, not the case. He's got Jarvis Landry and Devontae Parker playing against the Jets, Devontae Adams against the Bengals. The Miami defense should also feast on the Jets. There's going to be a common theme this year that basically whoever's playing the Jets is going to have a big week. That's just what it is. So I think that Jared's going to get some good production as some places that he normally doesn't get good production this week. And I do think – I did notice, by the way, Jared, that your team is 67% Dolphins and Patriots. You have 3 guys in your lineup that are not either on the Dolphins and the Patriots. So it's an interesting strategy. But you have huge bust potential with that. If any given week goes by that those two teams don't do well, you're just screwed. Is Zeke sophomore slumping? I'm going to go with yes. I think Zeke is there's a lot going on in his head right now. I mean, he's probably reliving, all the times he's beaten women in his life, and it's getting into his head. So Zeke couldn't happen to a better guy, him getting beat up on by the Denver defense last week, and I think he gets beat up on again against the Arizona Cardinals this week. Luckily for John, Kareem Hunt is an absolute animal, and he should do just fine all season long. Matt Ryan and Antonio Brown should also have big games. And Sam Bradford looks like he's returning to save Stephon Diggs from mediocrity, because basically without Sam Bradford, Stephon Diggs is useless. Seattle D is actually in for a rough show against Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's going to get more carries this week, and I don't think Seattle's going to be able to stop him. So I actually like Derrick Henry this week. Do not like the Seattle defense. Winner is going to be Damaged Goods. Jared is going to take home the W in this one. Sorry, John, you're way over projected. Jared gets 2 wins in a row for maybe the first time in the history of our league. I'm not sure. I'll have to do some research on that, but I'm not sure Jared's ever won 2 games in a row. So Cash Me Outside versus OJ's Revenge. I'll start with Steve's team and get all the negative stuff out of the way. Dez sucks and will do nothing versus Patrick Peterson. Dez is borderline unplayable, and I think he's going to have a horrible season, as I've documented many times. Carlos Hyde's going to come back down to earth against Aaron Donald in a tough Rams front this week. Basically, what I'm getting at is you should try to trade your entire roster for a bag of peanuts. Now, they're not worth a full bag of peanuts, but maybe you can swindle somebody or work something out. Now, on to Mancusi. Odell Beckham Jr. is going to break out against the Eagles. He's going to have a really big game. I think that there's a solid chance Amari Cooper avoids Josh Norman and gets a potential breakout game against the Redskins. You just don't know what Jay Gruden's going to do. If he's going to put – no, it depends. Norman may not shadow either one of them. So I do like Cooper, though, a little bit better than Crabtree this week. Just this week, not for fantasy in general, but just this week. It's a bold move what you're doing, Chris. You just keep sticking with a terrible defense and a terrible kicker, and you're even sticking with the injured reserve Greg Olsen. It's bold. It's stupid, but it's bold. So I'll give you that. You actually have a shot at winning this week, so please don't punt that away. Please go in there and make some changes and get the W. You should get an easy W this week. So with the presumption that you make some changes, I'm going to say that winner is OJ's Revenge. Steve, your whole team is a dumpster fire. I'll sign off with you guys here, and I hope everyone has fun this weekend watching their team's games, except, of course, you, Steve. I hope your team continues to crash and burn. I will see you guys next week for the recap.